G'day, I'm Rob and welcome to How to Van Life. Today we're talking about tools, and I'm not talking about the humankind. If you're travelling in your van, it's a good idea to take tools with you, because especially when you're travelling, things break, things fall apart. You know, you need some tools. Now this how-to vid is suited to the first-time tooler, the guy who's got a yearning for learning, and also suited to the long-time tooler, the more experienced tooler. Right, today I'm going to show you an emergency toolkit I've come up with through experience over the years. It's suited to those who don't have the budget to go out and buy all the tools you need, or it's also suited to those who just don't have the space to carry around a big toolbox full of tools. And it's just the basic tools to get you out of most situations, whether it be something that's broken or something you need to pull apart, or whether even if you're that way inclined, if you need to do some mechanical work on your van, emergency breakdown work. Now, I'm going to call this the How to Van Life official. Am I going to go official? Yeah, I'll go official. It's the official How to Van Life emergency toolkit. In future how-to vids, I will show you the proper way to perform a task if you've got all the tools you need, but I'll also show you where possible, a way to complete the task with just the official How to Van Life toolkit. Some instances, the emergency toolkit may not cut the mustard. You'll need a few more. I'll do my best to also include getting through that task with just the tools listed in the official How to Van Life toolkit. So if you're buying tools for the first time, I suggest buy mid-quality tools. Don't buy the cheap shit. Will just let you down in an emergency. Or another good option is to buy good quality second-hand tools. I'd probably actually go for that option. That's probably the best option, is to buy good quality second-hand tools. Always plenty of tools for sale out there online, on Facebook and whatever. So yeah, get reasonable quality tools. Don't buy cheap junk. Right, now we're going to get into the official How to Van Life emergency toolkit. First up, you will need a number 2 head, Phillips head screwdriver. That's right, a number two. Sorry, I promised myself I wasn't going to try toilet humour, but anyway, back to that. Number 2 Phillips head screwdriver. This size screwdriver will fit most screw heads on your van, on most things, on anything in your living space. Naturally, it's not going to fit everything, but it'll fit most. So, number 2 head, that's the size of the head, Phillips head screwdriver. Next cab off the rank, flathead screwdriver. Flathead screwdriver, so it's just a flathead. You don't see many flathead screws nowadays, but you do still see a few here and there. Quite often radiator hoses and heater hoses on cars have flathead screw head on them. But the flathead screwdriver is also good for other things, as levering, a bit of a chisel. Yeah, they do come in quite handy. So flathead screwdriver. Normally one about a 6mm blade. Next tool, one of the most important of all, good set of pliers. Now there's all sorts of different sorts of pliers. There's needle nose pliers, pointy nose pliers, side cutters. But these pliers, and this is what you want, these are called combination pliers. Now, you can do all sorts. They cut wire, small metal objects, so forth. They're good for holding onto stuff, whatever. But they also have, in the back part of it here, you see in there, they have a crimping tool. So that's for crimping crimp lugs. But yeah, combination pliers. And probably, yeah, make sure you get reasonable quality ones of those. They're very handy. Right, next tool. Not me, next tool. A shifter. I'm not normally a fan of a shifter. My old man used to call it the butchering tool. But in an emergency situation, it can come in very handy. I wouldn't get a monster shifter, I wouldn't get a little tiny one. This is a 200mm shifter, just a good all-round size, the shifter. Rightio, next piece. a hammer. You probably would have a hammer amongst your camping stuff anyway. Probably used a lot for banging in tent pegs. I did say tent pegs, didn't I? I'd get, this is just a little suggestion, I'd get a claw hammer. The reason being is the claw part of the claw hammer is good for pulling out tent pegs. Okay. Next up is Stanley. I shouldn't say that, Stanley's a brand. A safety knife is what they're actually called. So it's a knife with a retractable razor blade in it. Yeah, you know what to do with a Stanley knife. I don't have to explain that one to you. Right, the next piece is something that is a bit more expensive, I guess, but it's something that's very, very handy. Just a card of sockets and a little drive, so a swivel drive. It's not a ratchet or anything, it's just a swivel drive. Cheaper than buying a ratchet and do exactly the same thing. So this is a card of sockets, metric sockets, and naturally I have metric sockets because I've got a newer car. Unless you've got a vintage car, you probably won't need imperial sockets, so I go metric sockets. This one's handy, but it's got a lot of smaller sockets on it, which I don't use a lot. I have other sockets as well, but if you're going to buy a card of sockets, I'd try and get one that goes from about 8mm to 14mm, because they're the most commonly used sizes of sockets. This one goes from about 4mm to 12mm, so you've got no, it goes to 13, so you've got no 14mm socket, which is another common socket. So sockets and little swivel drive. Now, the next important piece, you probably already have one, but a torch. Torch, very handy thing, and I suggest getting a torch, a magnetic torch. So you probably can't see that in the shot, can you? I'll stick it down here somewhere. There we go. A magnetic torch, and this one moves around. Can you see that? Yep. Like that. So that one, just moves. So you can stick it on. If you're doing a job, you can stick it on metal anywhere and see what you're doing. No, probably flat, is it? No, it's not flat. Second last piece, roll of tape. As you can see, I need a new roll. This one's nearly done. But there's all sorts of tape. Electrical tape, masking tape, plumber's tape. I think that's for plumbing up plumber's cracks. But this is the most all-round type tape. It's cloth tape, also known as gaffer or 100mm tape. And you can use it for all sorts of things, holding stuff together that's broken and taping up wires. A roll of cloth tape, very handy. Right, now the last piece for the official How to Van Life emergency toolkit, a rag. I think t-shirts make the best all-round rag, the material in t-shirts. This is one of my old favourites. Been used as a rag for a while now, as you can see. But the rag, that's another important piece of the official How to Van Life emergency toolkit. There is one other thing for the rag that the rag does, which I'll show you in a minute. But as I mentioned earlier on future how-to vids that we'll be posting, I will show you how to perform the task if you've got all the tools you need, and I'll be showing you where possible how to perform the task with the emergency toolkit. So you'll have the tools you need, and by watching the vids you'll have the knowledge. Right, so this is the other use for your rag. Get all your bits, plonk them in there like that, hold the sleeves over like that, grab the neck, roll him up, and there you go. Just stick it in your glove box. I leave the hammer, the tape and the torch out because they're probably things you use all the time. And there's your official How to Van Life emergency toolkit. Happy van lifing, and we'll see you next time.